Okay, so guys, this randomly came up talking about LD5s. This is a tier list of LD5s, which I made like 11 months ago, of just how overall happy you should be about getting an LD5, in my opinion. So I'm more of an RTA player. There are some LD5s missing here, however, like the Weapon Masters, the Totemists, and the Sky Servers. But I'm gonna find some other units all the way at the end and just place them in there. So I'm gonna do those as last. So let's go for this. I absolutely have no clue what I picked where last time that I made this tier list. It was 11 months ago. It's quite a while. And I'm just gonna place all of the LD5s that I see here. That I would be personally, like for the moment of getting them, how happy I would be with them. So let's go for this one there. Grogen is actually, Han is a very good unit overall. Strongest single target damage dealer. Grogen, I would say, is one of the better arena offense units right now, but it's difficult to get him on good runes that he actually does do enough damage. Trinity, even though the buff, I'm still not really sure if I would be too happy with a Trinity, probably like this. Akroma, I feel like it's getting a little bit worse in current meta because it's going more towards Bruiser rather than AoE CC. And she was kind of good in AoE CC, minus that she kind of gets fucked by, what's it called? She kind of got fucked by the additional damage artifacts, but I still think she's pretty decent. Zerath, I feel like Zerath currently is worse than Grogen. It does have some implications, like differently. You can use it on arena defense, which we've seen in Europe, together with the Light Polar Queen, which is kind of weird, but I've seen it work quite some, but not really too sure. Julianne, I feel like Julianne is not that bad. We've seen like Truewell play with him. We got Pinkroyd playing with him quite some. Felicity has it, doesn't use it that much. But we have seen some implications where it can be used pretty well. The only thing I think it should do is it should survive a dot. If it would survive a dot, then I think it's fine. I don't understand how Akroma was nerfed in the last patch. Akroma was not nerfed. Akroma with the S2 silence that can rotate right now is pretty good. And the S1 cool time increase, I think is very good. The passive doesn't really matter that's up or down. Cadiz nuts can be used in defense here and there, but I wouldn't be too happy with him, to be honest. I think he's okay for a branding unit, but he's nothing too crazy. Then we got Shan. I think Shan would be on a very low. I've seen Felicity use him to some extent being useful, but I don't really feel like Shan would be too much interesting. Shan just needs a higher base speed. I guess if this thing gets like 115 base speed, he's okay. Zeratu is fun, but he's not that great either. Jaara, I actually feel like Jaara is not that bad. I feel like people complain too much about Jaara. If you put Jaara next to, well, it's armor breaks. It strips, armor breaks, and does branding. That's the perfect fucking setup you want. Sure, it's just guild battle, I guess. Cadiz is better for PvE content, I guess. I 2-up these because they're also valuable in PvE and like all kinds of content, whereas these are just PvP kind of content. So these are like a little bit up because they have other content where they're usable as well. Then we have Artamiel. Artamiel is not as great anymore in current meta, but I still think he's very good in Siege and Guild War offense. One of the best units in there, actually. And I feel like that he can still be used in RTA. Not as good anymore, but it's still kind of used. Eludia has very high base speed right now. Still needs to land his shit, but I think it can be... It's pretty nice for cleavers that if you use Zeratu plus Eludia, you have a unit that doesn't need attack buff. You can use Eludia that has a strip and an armor break in one. Sure, you could kind of use Gemini, but Eludia is a kind of one-up on that, but I feel like it's just there. Then we continue. We have Fermion. Fermion was kind of okay-ish against what's it called? Against cleavers, mainly like Lucian kind of cleavers. But it's, yeah, this thing got a up for base speed, doesn't he? I thought he got a up for base speed, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong in that. But yeah, I put Fermion, I guess. I guess Fermion is a very insta-win in Siege offense, that's the only thing. Then we have Laima. I would say Laima's pretty good. Mainly because additional damage artifacts. And mainly because, well, the S3 got kind of buffed. I'm not really liking the S2 buff. I kind of prefer the dots. Because now it's not really a... If you strip anything that has multiple buffs, you don't get any, like, benefits from that. Would be cool if Laima actually has the amount of... deep, or like, let's say if she strips one debuff, she just gets 2 turns slow. And on a 2 debuff, she gets a 3 turns slow or something. Sup, CC Line, how are you doing? Long time no see. Well, long time. It's been a month or something. But how are you doing? Hope you had a good stream. Summon stream. I'm kind of doing TOA in the back and then doing an RTA, or no, wait, not an RTA tier list. A tier list of net 5s in general. So I'm just gonna go over like all the LD 5s and how happy I would be with getting those. So Giana, without a doubt, is 100. Very simple. No questions asked. Lora, I'm not too happy with the state of Lora. How have you been? I've been pretty good. Started working recently, so that was a little bit of like struggles first few weeks, but it's getting better, I guess. And now just chilling at home, finally weekend. Ugh. I'm one of those persons that really doesn't like to work, I guess. Well, who does? Well, actually, some people do. I don't know. Nikki, where do we want to place Nikki? I feel like Nikki is a very strong unit. It's not that much use, but I feel like it's one of those units, same as Han, same as, well, a bunch of other units. They really shine from having good room quality. I think Laima also shines from having good room quality. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you, thank you. Other units we have. First one up is Mr. Jager. I feel like Jager's actually very good right now. If you go Nana, Riley, Jager, it's a very, very strong combo. And I've seen some people use it, like, fuck, what was his name? French guy, he's pretty high up player as well. He also has some other units, but I feel like Jager is kind of underrated, to be honest. Then we have the next one up is Qitian Dasheng. Well, one of the best RTA units in the game. In other content, not that great, but simply by being one of the best RTA units in the game, he's just that good. Oh, I forgot about Asima. Asima, I would say 80. One of the best, no wait, the best dodder in game. If enemy doesn't bring any immunity, then Asima is by far your best unit you can get. Craka, however, is still one of the worst units in the game. I would place Craka here, maybe even here. I would say here. Maybe can work on defense, but she needs like a consistent strip to actually do something. I would say. Oh man, this is the fastest list I've ever made, man. I'm rolling. Ragdoll all the way to the top, still the best, one of the best to pick. Monkey is pretty much, well, down here. Wouldn't really feel fair to put him worse than the rest, but Monkey's absolute shit unit. Just needs like a 100% activation rate on the S3. Otherwise, it's a very shit unit. And then it would still be a shit unit because it does absolutely no damage. Because his whole kit doesn't make any sense. Rahul, however, I've been seeing him some on defense. I wouldn't say he's necessarily very good. He's kind of usable. But I'm not a big Rahul fan. He would be on this kind of tier for me. I wouldn't be too happy with Rahul. Nigong currently is pretty nice. He's niche/nice, but I wouldn't say he's very strong. He's mainly just strong for the S2, but Wusa's still like miles ahead of that. It's mainly good if you use both that plus the other one, I guess. That's where I would say. If you use Wusa and Nigong together, then they become very strong. But in general cases, Wusa's just a 10 times up from a Nigong. I would like Nigong to always have his passive up, no matter you use the skill or you don't use the skill. I think that would be nice. Shazam, I feel like Shazam is actually better than Rahul. It's not a great unit. I've been seeing it sometimes on defense. Again, not a great unit, but I've seen it work from time to time. That's pretty decent. We have Yan Hong. We don't see as many Yan Hongs anymore, but I would still be very happy with a Yan Hong. Mainly because Yan Hong is really a playmaker. Yan Hong is really a unit that makes you think about attack bars, that kind of stuff. And I think it's just a very fun unit, and I think it's still very strong. Would still put it on Swift, I think, but you can also put it on Vile. Maybe one down, because I wouldn't... I think these units are stronger than that, but it's yeah, kind of around here. Not gonna be too precise. Wu Yong, I'm not too sure. It's very good arena offense units. or unit. Probably one of the best in what it does. But I wouldn't care too much about it. I only would care about Wu Yong if I had a Leia, to be honest. If I had Leia, she would probably be up there. Without a Leia, it's down here for me, I guess. Continuing, Wunsa. Wunsa is still a very strong unit, but there are other strippers right now which do kind of similar to Seimei, and maybe even better. So, I will put it there. Who's Leia? It's the Light Chun-Li. And then we continue the list. The Polar Queens. I feel like this one is actually pretty good, but it's more of a niche good. I've seen the combination of you plus you in arena defense, which is actually pretty good because she, if I'm not mistaken, is 111 base, and her odds of doing the S3 on him are actually very high. So for that reason, it's actually pretty nice combination. And I think she is a pretty good last pick in RTA, but I think I one down her because I don't see her too often. But I think she's a good last pick in RTA. We continue. Lydia's just a defense unit, sometimes siege defense as well, mainly arena defense. I would just say like fun for defense, but like how exciting is it to get a defense unit? And this is pretty much just like how excited I get from pulling each unit in each tier. That's pretty much the list I'm working on right now. So then we continue. We have Pontus. Pontus is still very good. I would say Laima would be as good as Pontus if Laima had speed lead. No, wait. Laima would be better than Pontus if Laima had speed lead. But without that, I feel like Pontus, I would one down him. I wouldn't be as happy because Pontus is a boring unit. So I think Pontus, I think he's better than these units on this tier, but I wouldn't be too excited about pulling him, like compared to the ones higher than him. Manananan is very fair worth here. Grogen 60 Scap. I think Grogen is actually a very good unit, but he shines on very good runes. It's actually one of my best arena offense units I have right now, if not the best. So sure, you could say Zyros or Poseidon could do his stuff too. But I feel like Grogen, especially against Nana meta, I feel like Grogen kind of has the shine thing there. But yeah, Bananaman is just, he is the worst shit out there. Then we continue, we have Sylvia, which is siege defense, siege offense, and that's just somewhere around here. Wouldn't be too... Yeah, it's just another defense unit, and like how interesting are just having another defense unit. This thing is straight up there, no questions asked, no explanation needed. A Wedget. Wedget is a worse version of a Tableau. Okay, maybe it has some implications for having like a very specific cleave team in RTA, but then your team is probably still shit. I feel like Wedget is actually really bad. And we continue, Nephthys. Nephthys goes all the way to the top. Very strong unit, many situations, siege defense. You can even put it on arena defense, arena offense, guild war offense, everything. Very good unit, very solid unit. Isis, excuse me. Isis is just pretty much a free clear for TOA Hell. That's as crazy as it gets. I just finished TOA Hard on the background, which I will summon once I'm done with this list. Which is not gonna take too long, I hope. I think this is the fastest tier list I made like ever so far. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much just TOA Hell. So yeah, besides that, well, it's a very easy TOA Hell. So for that reason, I would be like, at least I'm using it. With these units in there, I feel like I'm not even going to use pretty much. No, Fermion I would use in arena or in siege offense. So this tier up, I feel like it's, yeah, at least it goes better. Nephthys better than the Dark Magician. They're different. They're not really comparable. Either though their third skill kind of makes that they do kind of same thing, but they're not really comparable in my opinion. Oberon, I feel like Oberon is a pretty fun unit, but I wouldn't use him too much. I think he's niche. I would probably rune him on Will double Nem and pull him against Leos. And the moment that Leo slaps on the Oberon, you can just one-shot something. That's the only thing I would use Oberon for probably. So that's just once in a, I don't know how many picks, but I think he's very good at doing that job. Nyx I feel like is a very good unit, but he has his limitations of like setups that he needs for like other units. So I would say 70 is fair for Nyx. Continuing on the Tian Lang all the way to the top, very easy. No explanation needed. The hardest hard counter RTA pick that you can pick in your freaking life. So yeah, it's just a very insanely strong unit. Mi Ying actually does a good amount of damage. I would use it in offense, kind of for siege. Maybe in arena offense for a slow bruiser team. But besides that, nothing else. It's actually a very good offense unit for siege and that kind of stuff. It used to be a good unit in the Molly meta as well. It kind of destroyed Mollies. We continue the list with ponies. No, Celia. Celia is actually first on the list. Celia is I would say 50 for me as well as defense. Laima should be 80. Well, actually, fair is fair. I do use Laima quite some, but I feel like I'm kind of depending on triple revenge to make her shine in most cases. But would I one up her? No, I don't feel she's on the same tier as Pontus. Pontus I would be able to spam a lot more, but my opinion again, so Celia's legit as? No, I wouldn't say Celia's that legit. And again, my opinion, haha. This unit, I feel like kind of same tier. It's well, no, I one up it because I feel like it has a lot of pressure in the RTA. I feel like it has some pressure in RTA, and I feel like she has some pressure in arena defense. But just using her for defense, I would say this. I would never use her in offense, no. She does actually have a good S1 damage. So I feel like, yeah, Celia is still used in arena defense sometimes. Eleanor, I feel like she actually is not that bad with the anti-crits that she has, but I wouldn't use it too much. Probably just 60, but I feel like she can be used. Good last pick against critter units. Alexandra, I actually thought she would be good on defense, but she actually has the shittiest AI on defense. She switches to human form as once and then dies. Perfect unit. Perfect freaking unit. But yeah, on defense could be fun, but offense-wise, she is kind of okay. In RTA, I would use her from time to time. She's kind of easy to room, but not more than a 50 in my opinion. Then we continue on with Paladins. Dark Paladin. You see her fewer and fewer, but I feel like she's still a very good last pick, but she's not as oppressive as like some other good last picks, like this guy. But I feel like a decent last pick. We continue with Mr. Valantis. I did hear quite a lot of people say that Valantis is worse in current season. But I feel like Valantis, I would honestly trade my Laima for Valantis any day of the week. I'm not sure if he's actually that much worse in current RTA, man. I feel like this thing is still pretty good. I would say Alexandra higher than Lydia. I agree, because you can actually use the RTA and this thing not. This thing is just defense. Fuck you, you go one down as well. But yeah, Valantis I would say 80. I don't think he's as strong anymore in current meta as he used to be because of like Hey Gang and that kind of shit. But I feel like he's still pretty up there. Patar, I don't really think I would use that much Patar. Maybe a last pick against like a Giana or something, but he's very vulnerable to increased cool times like Ganymede, CP, that kind of stuff. CP just pushed him out of meta more or less. Then we continue with Geldnir. Geldnir I would probably use on defense and maybe on arena defense, but mainly siege defense. But I don't really feel like he's that good. Maybe siege offense as well, but I would say won't use Geldnir too much, I guess. Hertide used to be quite some siege defense meta, but I think he's very strong siege offense still. Plus he's very good in PvE kind of things for like the raid dungeons and that kind of shit. So I'll put him on 60 because he's not an RTA unit. This list is kind of RTA focused, not gonna lie. I started noticing this list is kind of RTA focused, but still in general, like how much would I use a unit or not? And I'm mainly playing RTA, so if I talk about using a unit, I talk about using it in RTA. But also like some units I would use these in like some in defense, I would use some in like siege offense. Like this for example, siege offense, free win, siege offense, free win. These you won't use because they're just absolute garbage. So, yeah. We continue on with Bella. Bella is a very good unit that shines on good runes, so for me it would actually work quite well. So I think I would put it in 80. I think Bella just enables like quite some things that you can make single target damage. And single target damage currently is pretty good. This into a Sierra, or this into even like a Marsha or Barbara, that kind of stuff. I think it's pretty nice. Wulyong is my most wanted, and yes, I got Leia. Yeah, I can understand that. Can totally understand that. Okay, so we continue. Lucifer, I would really like. He's only arena offense, but he is the strongest arena offense unit there is in the game. So, would you rather have Bella over Laima? Yeah, I would. Laima's fun and all, but it doesn't really enable that much, I guess. But yeah, it's the strongest unit arena offense, and it's very good for rifts. Not that I really care about rifts, but yeah. Let's go for Dark Demon. Dark Demon is one of those units that would, like, a lot of people would say that he's very good but don't have him. So I don't think he's insanely OP, but I think he's pretty nice. Why is Jaara so high? Because Jaara is actually the perfect setup unit for any unit. It has it strips, it armor breaks, and it brands. Like, why the fuck is that bad? Like, legit, why is that bad? You can use that so well in not necessarily RTA, but in Siege offense? Definitely. I think it's a Siege offense free win, pretty much. And if it procs, like it strips, armor breaks, brands, and then it procs and just kills something. I feel like it's a pretty solid unit. Maybe one down compared to what I see for the rest here. Maybe one down, maybe one down. I'm making this list very fast because I don't want to have like a 45-minute list like I mostly do. Wait, 45-minute list. Most lists I do are like freaking 2 hours. So I actually want a fast list. Narsha, I think Narsha is one of the coolest units out there. Kind of one-dimensional though, but is a very good unit. Lucifer passive works on PG5. I actually have no fucking clue. No El Sharion tier. No, this is about summoning an LD5. Like, how happy would I be with summoning LD5? That's this tier list. Xena, I'm not really feeling her as a unit as well. I would use her, but I feel like she has to do a lot more damage on her S3 because her S3 actually drains attack bar, and the more attack bar she drains, the more damage she's supposed to do. I think that should be way higher because she's in some cases barely doing more damage than a Savannah. I think. I feel like it's just low. I don't know. Then we have this thing, which is pretty terrible as well, I would say. I will barely use this. I think this thing he needs a lot of damage up to be on Grogen level. He does kind of similar to what Grogen does. A little bit better because he ignores every passive. So he also ignores Ragdoll passive, for example. But I feel like that Grogen just does a lot more damage than this thing. And it's not I feel like, I know that he actually does a lot more damage. Then we have the Mukwu. Hanwoo can armor break Akroma. Yeah, he can also stun Akroma, but it's not really useful. Mukwu, I would literally use Mukwu as a 50 attack lead for Grogen. That's the only thing I would use it for. I feel like it's a pretty shit unit. We continue on. We have the Light Ryu. Light Ryu is not something I really like. It does enable some potential of cleaving with a unit that you don't really... you don't need an attack buff on your units, but it's... I wouldn't be too happy with a Light Ryu. Not at all. Dark Ryu, I feel like a little bit up, but same thing. Just people can't really make it work, I guess. Why is Cadiz higher? Because I lowered Jaara later, and Cadiz is just as bad. Well, Cadiz you can see sometimes more on RTA, I guess. He's more of an RTA player. Then we have Craka, which deserves all the way here. Then we have Talisman, and these are the same. Oh wait, we have the dark one. I feel like the dark one, if he had higher percentages, if this thing provoked all the fucking time, he would literally be up here. But the issue is that he doesn't provoke all the time, and therefore he's kind of shit, I would say. But he's not the worst. We continue on with, okay, these we had. We had Seimei. I feel like Seimei is all the way down here. And we have Doma, which is all the way down here. Then we have the Dark Onyogi, which is kind of nerfed as is right now. It's not one of the strongest units out there anymore. I feel like it's still pretty strong. But he's lacking some damage to actually one-shot shit. Still pretty strong unit, but not the greatest out there. Maybe this. Change 22 for content. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much feels like that, yeah. So we continue on. We have the Dorothy. Dorothy is absolute shit. She just destroys HP when she just nukes everything to death. If she even nukes everything to death. Fucking useless unit. And then we have Kiki, which I think is actually one of the strongest defense units in the game right now. Did you skip the striker? I think I put both strikers in there. Yeah, I put both strikers in there. But I think Kiki is actually one of the strongest defense units out there right now. Because if you put her on Destroy Vio, she does so fucking much damage. If she Vio procs a few times, she just fucking destroys your units. And I think it's one of the strongest potential for inter-server. Maybe for normal arena as well. Especially for Siege. I think it's literally the strongest Siege defense unit out there right now. And I think she's very good on Siege offense as well. RTA, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe a good last pick, but that's about it. But I feel like Kiki is very good. So then we missed the Totemist. I don't really have units that represent Totemist right here. But, well, first, the Sky Surfers. Sky Surfer 1, Sky Surfer 2. Is what it is, they're both fucking terrible. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing. I think Daniel is a little bit better. But the light one is absolutely trash. That thing just doesn't do anything. Then we have the, what are the other? We have the Weapon Masters, but we had one more in between. What was the other one that was in between? Totemist. Both Totemists are fucking terrible. These are Totemists. They are actually terrible. And then we have the Light and the Dark Weapon Master. Wait, who's going to be a Weapon Master? I put you as Weapon Master. Oh, this is so... No, I put you guys as Weapon Master. I feel like that the Light Weapon Master might be good. Samurai. Samurais actually makes sense. Wait, where are the Samurais? Samurai, fucking Pete's cat. Wait, where's Samurais? Can't find Samurais. Okay, I'm just gonna put these two because I don't care. Isn't Light Totemist kind of decent? I feel like she's pretty shit and I've never seen her being used. But I feel like the Light Weapon Master might actually be kind of decent. Like 60 is range. I haven't really seen him being used that much. But I feel like it could be used. That's what I feel like. And then we have the Dark one. And the Dark one I think is very fucking strong. It does need like a good amount of setup. But because of the speed lead, pushback, armor breaks, everything is very strong. Where's Tablo? Tablo's not a net 5. So yeah, I guess this is my list of how happy I would be with all of the net 5s that you can pull. And these are just based on like how often I would use them and how good I think they are at doing what they do. So that was actually a pretty fast video. Not sure if you agree with this list. If you don't, what was my opinion? Haha, I don't care. But no, let me actually know in the comments for the YouTube video if you actually care about this or if you, not if you care about this list, if you feel like this list is somewhat accurate. This list, however, is kind of made RTA based for most of the case. But I do care about some units, like for example Shazam. I would like him for siege defense, siege offense. Few of these other units I would just use on like siege defense, siege offense, arena defense. That kind of stuff, so therefore there some have something. And then you also have a whole bunch of units you just don't want to use anywhere and just keep in storage pretty much. So yeah, that's about it. Don't you think Bella can go 1 tier higher? No, I wouldn't go Bella 1 tier higher. So I'm gonna keep this list as is. I'll probably save it somewhere, and that's as far as I want to go for this list. So guys, I also made this tier list about 11 months ago, so if you want to check that out, I'll put that link in the description as well. And guys, thanks for watching, and see you later for the YouTube video.